Does your golf swing look like this? Well, don't be discouraged. Stay tuned for Modern Golf, featuring Dave Hill, one of America's fine young touring professionals, and Hal Scheidler, the man who believes everyone can break 80. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Modern Golf. My name is Hal Scheidler, and that's right, I do believe everyone can break 80, at least occasionally. That's the purpose of our show, to help you to build an image of a good golf swing in your own mind. Once again, we're speaking to you from the fabulous Indian Wells Country Club at Palm Desert, California. And once again, working with us on the show, one of America's fine young touring professionals, Mr. Dave Hill. Welcome aboard, Davey.
Thank you, Hal. It's sure nice to be back with you again.
It's been so marvelous down here, I think we might just stay if we could find an excuse to stretch the series out a little bit.
That's for sure.
We'll be working today with a lot of ultra slow motion, which I think you'll find very beneficial. And Davey, I know that this ultra slow stuff that we've been shooting has been very helpful to you in working on your own game.
Well, that's right, Hal. It gives me a chance to see every move I make in the entire golf swing. I know that if I hit 7 irons in a row, I'll find that 2 of them will be a little off, and the reason for that being is that I'm not concentrating. I haven't got the club in the proper position at the top, and this gives me one thing that I can think about at all times during the swing.
And you feel it will help you to develop a little more consistency in the swing?
Well, instead of missing the green completely, I might put it on the left edge.
Yes, well, I've seen you knock it pretty close, buddy. Okay, well, I think it was helpful to Dave. It has certainly been helpful to me, and I'm pretty certain it'll be the same for you. So Dave's going down to the practice tee, and we're going to join him there in just 1 minute. Won't you join us?
I have an 8-iron here, and it is one of the most versatile clubs in the bag. It can be used anywhere from 140 yards right up to the very edge of the green. I use it for a number of shots. The full shot, I just take a good swing at it, but I'd like to show you more or less the punch shot where, say, I've got to go under a tree and I've got maybe 120 yards to go. And I couldn't use the 9-iron or the wedge because the trajectory of the ball would be a little bit too high, so I take the 8-iron and I just shorten down on the shaft a little bit, let about 2 inches stick out back here, and I push the hands forward, this position here, take it back about halfway and lead with the left side. There. This way I have control of the ball, and I know it's not going to get up too high, where a 9-iron would jump the ball up straighter, or the pitching wedge. You have to figure out which club the trajectory of the ball will come off to get under the branches of the tree. Hands forward, halfway, pull. The ball ought to get about 20-25 feet in the air at the most, and you can keep it down to as much as 8 to 10 feet. This is providing the tree is just, say, 5 or 6 yards in front of you. Now, if I want to hit the ball higher, and say I've just got a normal 8-iron shot, I'll hold the club at the end, so to speak. If I want to just hit a normal 8-iron shot, you see the hands are a little ahead, not much. Make a good turn, stay down, and follow through. If I want to move the ball up in the air higher, say I have a tree to go over that's out there maybe 120 yards and I've got a 140-yard shot, I just drop the hands a little back, stay back on my right side a little longer, release the club head faster. And there I've hit it almost straight up in the air. Now, I would say for the average person to try to hit this club 140 yards, he's making a mistake. He has to find out how far he can hit each club in the bag. For me, I hit the 8-iron 140 yards right on down to the edge of the green. And as I get closer to the green using the club, I automatically come down the shaft. Full shot, 3/4 shot, punch, and then if I'm going to chip the ball from around the edge of the green, I'll most likely have my right hand right down on the steel for a little shot, feet close together, a little chip. And that's about it with the 8-iron.
Well, Marcia, how far do you hit an 8-iron?
Oh, about 115 yards.
Did you really get something out of Dave's demonstration?
Well, it certainly reminded me of a lot of things you told me, Hal. The thing I was most impressed with was the ease in which Dave gets so much distance and the variety of shots he hits with one club.
Well, Marcia, that's the mark of the true pro. And you keep working as you have been, and one of these days they'll be saying the same things about your swing that we're now saying about Dave's. And speaking of Dave's swing, let's put it in slow motion and see if we can't learn something from his good action. At the top of the backswing, the right leg is straight. All the weight is inside the right ankle, the left knee points at the ball, and the left heel is on the ground. Watch now as the legs uncoil and shift laterally to provide maximum power. Even in the ultra-slow motion we use for most of our shots, the leg action is very difficult to analyze, so we shot this footage at 4,000 frames per second so we might slow it down enough to see. As the weight reaches the most forward point, the left leg has straightened and the right leg has delivered its power. The hands lead the club head back down to the ball, and the club head charges to catch up. The shock of the club head meeting the ball is extreme. I hope this will help you realize how important leg action is to a good swing. Now we're going to run through a whole series of ultra slow motion shots of Dave's swing. And while you watch, I'll just yak away. I've said many times that the only reason so many people play so poorly is because they have no idea of what they're really trying to do. They have no image of a golf swing. That's the first job. Build a good image of a swing in your own mind. And remember that golf is not a game of brute strength. It calls for rhythm, balance, timing. I've always said that anyone who can dance can play golf well. There are several specific things which will help, but only if you really think about them and try to incorporate them in your game. I stress the left arm constantly because I'm convinced you can never be a good player without a strong left side. Head position is of prime importance. The head is slightly behind the ball at address and must never move in front of the original position until the ball is on its way. The head is the anchor point of the swing, so be most conscious of it. For reasons of comparison, we'll look at a few shots of some average players. I get the impression these fellows are thinking only of where the ball is going. There is no indication of any concentration on the job at hand, the task of striking the ball correctly. Don't just walk out and hit it. Make a production out of it. Try to duplicate the swing image we're trying to help you build. Show some poise, and remember, nothing happens unless you make it. Watch only one portion of the swing at a time. If it's the right elbow, stay with it all the way through the shot, and then add that to your image. Check the way the elbow points to the ground at the top of the backswing, and then get that feeling in your shots. Here's a good spot to check hip and leg action. And remember that good golf swings start in the feet. Without good hip and leg action, it's impossible to generate power. Maybe your head position can stand some help. Fix this image in your mind. Look directly at the ball with both eyes. The head is slightly behind the ball. Keep it there. And remember, you can't hit what you can't see. Not only look at the ball, think about it, and see the club head hit it. Check your alignment with the target. A good way to do this is either with a piece of string or simply lay your club along the line. If you were to draw a line across David's toes, it would point just left of his target. The hips and shoulders are just a shade more open. This stance provides full freedom to swing. You have some balance problems? Well, keep those feet on the ground. Watch that left heel. Keep it down. It will roll from side to side, but never get up on your toes. The knees provide the mobility for the body turn. A review of our super slow motion fast acts will prove this beyond any doubt. When you stay stiff-legged during a golf swing, you freeze all the speed and power in the feet, and it's absolutely impossible to attain your potential. Just be certain that the head and upper body remain centered over the ball and the leg movements are independent. Check the extreme lateral shift forward of the legs long before the hands come back into the hitting area. This drive forward has provided the tremendous pulling action which generates the great club head speed necessary for distance and control. The release of the hands at impact turns this speed loose just as though you had released a giant, tightly coiled spring. The club head compresses the ball against the turf as it moves down through the ball, catching ball first and then the grass. The momentum of the swing will carry you on up to the big finish. This shot was photographed at 4,000 frames per second, which is about 166 times normal camera speed.
I have a 3-iron here, and I'd like to hit a few shots with it like I would on the practice tee. When I go to the practice tee, I love to experiment with a club. I learn to hit low slices and high slices, low hooks and high hooks, and of course the tough ones, the straight ball, I don't hit many of them. But I use the club from right at 190 yards down the line to maybe 160, depending on what you have to do with it. If you're in trouble, and I find myself in the woods a few times, I like to use the 3-iron to maneuver the ball low and around trees. And say I were out behind a couple trees and I had to hit a low slice, the yardage is 170 yards, I would choke up on the club, figure out my line that I have to strike it on, aim it. In doing so, I'm going to keep the hands a little ahead through the hitting area in this fashion, so the ball will stay down, and I'll draw the club across the ball in this fashion. It'll slice. So we will give it a go and see what happens. You notice the hands and everything traveled low and long. Therefore, the ball didn't get up in the air. I'm just going to hit a normal 3-iron. You see the difference in just the length of the swing. Take a longer turn and a big high finish. Now we'll go back to the little, more or less punch 3-iron with a little cut, keep it down. Short grip, feet not long ways apart. If you'll take notice of the left side moving through the ball, it's way ahead, leading. Notice the low finish. This club comes in very handy for sort of knocking it down under trees. You can run the ball quite a ways with this. Show you the grip for the average 3-iron, which I use. I hold it pretty near the end of the club, and all I concentrate on when I'm not trying to move the ball one way or the other is staying down and behind the ball and complete the swing. By that I mean the extension of the left side. I'll finish with the hands above my head. This club takes a lot of practice. Most amateurs have a very difficult time using the long irons. They are one of my favorites. I would say that this club has saved me a number of shots, and you can also use it from right off the edge of the green. Say you have a chip shot that'll be 80, 90 feet long, and the green's rather flat, but you don't want to putt it. You just choke down on it. You use the same stroke you'd use for a putter. Ball up, and you just chip it that way. And I think that'll about do it with a 3-iron.
Thank you, David. And first we'll take a good look at that punch shot. Now, Dave plants his feet about as wide as the shoulders as he aligns them with the target. The hands are slightly ahead of the ball, and the left arm is set up very strong for this shot. There is practically no release of the hands. The left hand just pulls the club through, actually blocking the right hand out of the shot to prevent the hands from turning over and producing a duck hook. In the full shot, the hands return to the normal position on the stick. The address is the same, other than that he is somewhat more erect. The hands are not quite as far forward at address. The turnaway is bigger and the backswing longer. The major difference is a complete release of the hands, which will get the ball higher and longer. And remember, with the long irons, you must hit it pretty hard. You can't baby these clubs. The shaft is long and the head is light. If you soft pedal a long iron, you lose all control. As you regular viewers know, we harp on that strong left side. And Dave will hit a number of shots every day in this fashion just to keep reminding that left side not to get lazy. Right now we're going to show you some of the common courtesies of golf, which you should practice at every opportunity. Marcia has just hit a pitch shot up to the green, and now she's going to walk through what should be a normal procedure. Marcia, would you come on in? She's just replaced the divot and repaired the ground where she took the divot when she hit her pitch shot. Now she will walk around the ball, which is furthest away, repair the ball mark where the ball landed on the green. We'll mark the ball with a coin and then walk around the line behind the flag, pull the flag, and carry the flag off the clipped surface of the green before dropping it. Then she will stand to the side out of the line of vision of the player who is now getting ready to putt. If you'll pay particular attention to the common courtesies of golf, next time you're out on the golf course, I think you'll find that it pays great dividends. So give it a try, will you? Right now, Davey is over on the tee getting ready to take off on one of the really good holes here at Indian Wells. Let's go with him, huh? This is another spectacular hole on the fine third nine. It isn't too long, but can give you fits if you fail to keep it in the fairway. You can't see the green from the tee. The hole doglegs sharply left out about 200 yards. There's trees and trouble everywhere, and a small lake guards the front and left of the green. The perfect tee shot is a long draw. Now, it's possible to cut the corner, but even long-knocking David would have to give that a second thought. He's setting it up to draw it. A great tee shot, and he really crunched that one. Around the corner and up the slope, a good 280 yards. Here's the one-handed shot, and this is a little tougher for Dave as he generally fades this shot a little, and a fade is no good here. Too far left, and this one doesn't fade. He hits the trees on the left and drops straight down. This is not a long hole, but after catching that tree, Dave has a full 6-iron to the green, and he must carry the lake in front. This with one hand. Just about as fine a shot as you'd want to see. Gets a little bad kick, though, and he has about a 20-footer left. Thanks to a great tee shot, Davy has a little pitching wedge to the flag. Looks good. On the line all the way, but biting and jumping back and left and not too close. Dave is away with the two-handed ball. He has about a 20-footer for his birdie. It's going uphill, and he left it well short. With the one-handed shot, he has just about the same distance, but with a little less break. And how do you like that? A snake for a birdie 3 after missing the tee shot. And that's how you turn 2 fine shots into a bogey. I'm glad you can't hear what Davy's thinking right now. Well, today's a nice day in some ways and a sad day in other ways. This marks the final show of our series of Modern Golf, and we certainly hope that throughout this series we have been able to pass along to you a few pointers which have helped your game. Davy, come on in and say so long. It's been a lot of fun for me, Davy, and I hope it has for you.
Well, Hal, it's been a great pleasure for me. It's something I've always wanted to do, and all I hope is that it's helped some people, because I know it's helped me.
Davy, I know you've made an awful lot of friends out there in the last 13 weeks, and from all the mail that we've received, I'm certain that you've picked up a few more additional followers for your visits on the golf tour.
Well, I could use them.
Oh, well, the way you're going along, you've had plenty already, but I'm sure it has made you known to a lot more people, and it certainly has made a lot of them cognizant of the fact that you have one of the fine golf swings in the world today. Davy, thanks again. The finest of luck to you in your future in golf, and we know that nothing but big things are going to happen.
Well, thank you, Hal. It's been a great pleasure.
Say hello to the family, Davy.
Will do.
We've been coming your way throughout this series from the beautiful Indian Wells Country Club in Palm Desert, California. Our thanks to the management here for all their wonderful cooperation and help, and we hope that we'll be back here again in the near future to do another series on modern golf. Until we see you then, this is Hal Scheidler speaking for Dave Hill and saying so long for now, and remember, keep your head down and your left arm straight, and believe me, you can break 80.